So then, the fallout from yesterday's humiliating defeat to West Ham at the London Stadium continues this morning, as manager Eddie Howe has stated that he could have taken anyone off after that first half performance, and he explains why he didn't bring Lewis Hall on. Captain Bruno has issued a public apology to the fans as well for that absolute shit show. Let's go. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Toon Review YouTube channel. My name is Paul. This is your latest Monday morning Newcastle United news. Thank you very much for watching the video. We will start off with Eddie Howe, and he has explained that he could have taken anyone off after that first half performance yesterday. Now, he talks about the first half. The whole game was a shit show. I mean, we had so much possession in that second half, but we just couldn't break West Ham down. It was abysmal. It was shocking. Probably the worst defeat we've seen under manager Eddie Howe since he's been at the club. Now, granted, we took the lead. They hit the bar, we broke away and scored. And you would expect us then to really continue and pummel West Ham, given the confidence that isn't around that side at the moment. They are so low in the league. They have been terrible this season. And what do? We just give it back to West Ham on a plate and say, there you go, fellas. We've took the lead. Let's see what you've got. We'll just sit back and let you come at us for the full half. And of course, there were 2-1 up at halftime. It was just absolutely rotten, and no words can really describe it. You know, you can come out with, oh, that was shite, that was terrible, it was rotten. There's no words that can cover that performance. You know, going in 2-1 down, you'd expect a real kick up the arse. Eddie makes changes, not the changes that we thought might be made, but he continues to make the mistake of playing Dan Burn and Joe Linton for the full 90. Putting Joe Linton out on the left wing, I don't get that at all, guys. I said that in my reaction video. We'll talk about it more tonight on the actual match review. Don't forget, live at 7 o'clock tonight. But dear me, I mean, there's a whole inquest going on here as to what the hell happened yesterday. But this is what Eddie said. The dynamism wasn't there. The physicality and the energy was missing. We scored early and could have grabbed hold of the game, but we didn't and let it slip away. It didn't look like a Newcastle team that we've seen in recent seasons. The body language, the collective spirit on the pitch, loads of little things weren't there. It was a byproduct of us just not being where we needed to be mentally. Well, here's a question. Why is this continually a problem away from home? Now, I know we haven't been brilliant in the Premier League full stop yet this season, but away from home, this is nothing new. This is a continuation of what we've seen from last season with our away form. It is garbage. It is not good enough for where we want to be as a football club. And I'm sure it's nowhere near where the players already Howe wants to be. You know, they're not going to turn and say, oh yeah, we're mid-table, that's fine. We're not going to worry about that. Because I understand that. They want to be at the pinnacle of the Premier League. They want to be in the pinnacle of European competitions. Now, on subbing Gordon and Voltemade, he says, I could have taken anyone off. That is a reflection of where we were at that stage of the game. It's very rare for me to feel that way. I don't think I have since I've been Newcastle manager. So obviously, a very upset Eddie Howe. And, you know, credit to him, he did make changes at halftime. Whether we agree with the ones he did or not, he did try and change it by making changes. Voltemade off, Gordon off. And you know what? Voltemade, he wasn't really in the game yesterday, let's be fair. And we're still working out, I think, how to truly get him involved in performances. Anthony Gordon, just non-existent yesterday. However, Eddie did say that Gordon was feeling his hip on and off and has been for the last couple of weeks, and that played a part in the decision to take him off. So, you know, it wasn't just that he wasn't playing very well. Obviously, there is a little bit of a problem with his hip, so he didn't want to risk that getting any worse. But then again, have we really seen any sort of hip issue from Anthony Gordon in the last few games? Because I don't think we have. I think he's been outstanding. And the way he's ran at defenders. But yesterday, what me and Billy during commentary certainly picked up was he bottled it against Wan-Bissaka in that first half yesterday. Many times he could have tried to take him on down the left. He didn't. He cut inside. That's nothing to do with his hip. Because when he was cutting inside at full pace and getting into the centre and knocking the ball to colleagues in the middle or to the right-hand side. So I'm not so sure about that, whether that's just, Eddie's come out and sort of took the pressure off Anthony Gordon in a way. We know that managers can do that. They'll take the pressure off the players altogether. And maybe I think he's done that with Anthony Gordon. Now, on Lewis Hall, this is what he had to say on Lewis Hall not coming on. He says, I was very reluctant to put him on. We had no other senior professionals to put on the bench today. If we did, then he wouldn't have been on there. He's done one training session with us, and I don't want to push him too early. Right, okay, so he's not going to come on. Then why even bother? Where are the youngsters? Where are the youngsters to come on and sit on the bench? You don't need a senior professional there, Eddie. If you've got no intention of bringing them on the pitch, then give some experience to the youngsters. And this has been a critical aspect of Eddie Howe before with respect to the youngsters, that he's not really trying to bring anybody through. When you've got an opportunity like that, whether the player's going to come on or not, that's experience for your youngster. You know, Lewis Hall, he's got no intention of putting him on the pitch, and then he says it's because there were only senior professionals available. Then bring some of the youngsters through. Put Sean Neve on the bench, Shahar, Park. Give them an opportunity to, keep gaining experience. Lewis Hall's been there, done it, but there's no chance of him coming on. Then put one of the youngsters on the bench. It doesn't make any sense. I'm completely baffled by it. And then, of course, he went on to discuss the solution without Kieran Trippier, who, by the way, he hopes will be back for Wednesday, but it's just a wait and see. We were looking for a solution to try and make the team perform better in that position, and we knew going into the game it wouldn't be easy because Kieran's got such a brilliant strength on and off the ball that when he's missing, we miss them. He would have helped us today, but he wasn't here, and we needed to find a different way, of course. We're missing Tino as well, two big players. So, yes, that's why I did what I did. We'll wait and see if Kieran's okay for Wednesday. So, look, there's no chance of Lewis Hall playing on Wednesday, right? That is completely guaranteed, I think. The fact that he's only had one training session. We're not going to have a lot of training sessions now between now and the Bilbao game, of course. So there you go. That's how it is. And we just have to accept that. Whether Lewis Hall is on the bench again, I would think so, because there's a lot of subs for a European game, of course, and I would expect him to be there. Gordon, look, he was shocking yesterday. He was absolutely shocking, along with a lot of other players. So whether he plays on Wednesday night, maybe he's a doubt as well, or whether you wait and play him in the Premier League, because our Premier League form is suffering massively right now. We're 13th. We're just drifting in mid-table at the minute. And the points gap from, West Ham have now closed it to 5 points between us and them, and they're in the relegation zone. So we need to start picking up points. And I've said this for weeks on end now, that we need to start improving on our Premier League form, because we're going to play catch-up. And yes, certainly we'll be better when we get Livramento, Hall, Wissa, etc. back in the side. No doubt about that. But the problem is, how far are we going to be behind the rest of them before these players get back to full match fitness? And that is a massive problem to be playing early doors, is catch-up. We're well into the season now. You can't say, it's still early doors and all of this. But the problem we've got is, yes, it's early doors, but we're a third into the season. And we have a massive problem here, because we need to get the points back. We're drifting away. We're just like a lost ship at the minute in the middle of the sea. And no one knows why the Premier League form is so bad right now. It's got to get better. So I don't know, guys. I'm puzzled by Eddie's comments. I don't understand why he didn't put one of the youngsters on the pitch instead of, on the bench instead of Lewis Hall. What was the point of taking him there? It's crazy. Anyway, with regards to Bruno, now Bruno, we know he takes these defeats very personally. He doesn't like losing, and he doesn't like it when we put displays in like that yesterday. Now, Bruno himself, way off his game yesterday, as with the rest of the team. But he is very, very angry and disappointed. This is what he had to say. He says, I have to say sorry to our fans today. Not near enough to our best level. Your support is more than appreciated by us, and we have to show it on the pitch, especially away from home. Now, that's a big point for me because Bruno's now mentioned away from home as well. So clearly, the players are very well aware of this terrible away form that we have in the Premier League, and it needs to change. It needs to get better. And how they do that, I do not know, but they need to pull themselves together and get on with it. He says, we have a big game on Wednesday and need the Geordies more than ever. Now, look, rallying the team before Europe competition is fine, because we know Newcastle United under the lights, St James's Park, it's a very different atmosphere. It's a very different team that normally turns up. And we normally perform under the lights, and that is fine. Continue the good form in the Champions League. But fans will start now worrying about the Premier League and where we stand, because getting into Europe is massive for financial situations and all of that kind of stuff as well. And to grow Newcastle United as a global product, which PIF clearly want to do. But if we're languishing mid-table in the Premier League and no chance of getting Europe, that's going to have a knock-on effect for the next couple of seasons. And again, it's sort of going backwards to try and move forwards again. And how many times do we want to do that? You know, PIF want us to be at the pinnacle of everything. I'm sure, Hopkinson and Ross Wilson, Eddie Howe, everybody behind the scenes wants that as well. But they have to address these problems. They have to address what's going on right now. Because, yes, it's fine, Bruno coming out and apologising to the fans. At least he's man enough to do that and admit that it just wasn't good enough. But it's all right saying words. We need transformations on this pitch. And the fact he's mentioned away from home there tells me that the players are well aware that their performances away from home in the Premier League are nothing short of shocking. It's not good enough this season. You look back at the Premier League results this season and the performances at home. Yes, we've got a few results, but can you honestly say that the performances in the Premier League have been good? Yes, the Liverpool game, but that was under the lights again, and the Isak situation, and there was a lot of emotion behind that game. But some of the games we've seen when we've kicked off during the day and against lower league teams, we just can't seem to get it going. So I think there's a lot of work for Eddie and the guys to do behind the scenes. Get us going again. Yes, go out there on Wednesday night, perform in the Champions League, try and get a few goals, get the momentum going for the trip to Brentford, because that is not going to be easy either. I'm telling you now, Brentford are good at home and we are terrible away. So it's going to be a difficult game. So there is questions to be asked. And there's questions to be answered. Now, I don't know what Eddie's going to be asked in his press conference for the Champions League. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But there is a lot to be answered. And we'll see what he says. But there you go, guys. That is the early morning news. Let me know, as usual, in the comments below what you guys think. Are you panicking yet about the away form? What is going on? We need to take a real... Those players, man, they need to take a hard look in the mirror after yesterday. But don't forget, we're back tonight at 7 o'clock where we'll have the live review of the game. And boy, oh boy, I think there's going to be a lot of things said tonight. The player ratings certainly are going to be affected by that performance. But we will see, folks. We will see what turns out. Get in the chat tonight. Let us know how you're feeling. But obviously, let me know what you think of Eddie Howe's comments. And, of course, Captain Bruno. And we will see you very soon. Give it a like. And please do subscribe if you're new to the channel. Very important we keep you coming in and joining this community to build this great channel up. So thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Take care.